Take off.
Exactly.
Irene, as we wind up the interview, I got 5 questions to do with the work you're doing.
Yeah.
Which I think is one of the reasons why people nominate you, to come into the CEO bench and to be also in the CEO bench. It's about your work. And I think Mutuzo makes a very good comment right there. In the world, in a country like Uganda, where fraud is almost an order of the day. You don't know what is happening. You wake up tomorrow and there's a lot of fake news, a lot of things going on, a lot of fake papers happening and people giving out. When the elections are happening in Uganda, you always hear a lot of fake, papers and going, but you come up with something, digital verification, right?
Yeah.
That's what Diwala stands for. I want to take you straight to your company deals with digital verification of documents, okay? Like academic credentials, like academic documents. Why is authenticating some of this document or authenticity is very important to leaders in this day and age as a CEO, or why should CEOs pick this in this day and era that we're in going forward? What value does it bring to the table?
Okay, thank you very much. And before I answer your question, I just want to highlight the challenges we face around.
And also want to know what is Diwala in
what is
NSCS.
Diwala? Okay, so Diwala is a Norwegian and Ugandan-based blockchain technology company that was born from a UN Women Hackathon in Norway.
Yeah.
And we basically provide a digital solution that enables the issuance and verification of credentials, which could be proof of education, proof of training, proof of health, licenses, and any other important document you can think of. Currently, we have presence in over 6 African countries. And what challenges are we solving?
Yes.
I will begin by sharing that from a personal experience, both as someone that has needed a document and also someone that has needed to verify a document from the HR end. So, in 2019, I completed my master's degree. And by the time COVID hit in 2020, I was still waiting to receive my certificate. When everything closed, there was no way I could access it. And I eventually had to wait over a year to get this proof of my education. Now, of course, like many people, when COVID hit, a lot of sectors were affected. And naturally, a lot of people were looking for jobs. And there are also jobs that I looked at and I thought, well, I can do this job. I have the qualifications. But I couldn't even get past the application portals because I didn't have my credentials. And I'm not the only one facing a challenge. Like you said, a lot of institutions, a lot of organizations, reputations are at risk because of the number of forged credentials on the market. Think of forged transcripts, forged certificates, recently forged COVID-19 tests and certificates. And all these things negatively affect reputations of institutions. Then thirdly, on the verification side, the employer, the banks, the authorities, investors have to take a lot of time and money to verify information. I'll give an example of the HR because I've worked in the HR sector before. You'll spend up to $15 per certificate verification and over 250 hours minimum yearly. That is a lot of time and money. And this is where we as Diwala come in. So we provide a platform that enables any institution or organization to issue digital credentials. And the beauty about these credentials or these certificates, if you may call them, is that they can't be forged because they have an added layer of security provided by the blockchain technology we use. Then secondly, recipients of these credentials or certificates, who could be people like you and myself as a former student and alumni. It could be people like you and myself that need our permits. We can be able to access our digital credentials or certificates anywhere we are at any time, whether or not we have a smartphone. And, we don't have to worry about things like your certificate getting lost or someone having to fly back to the country just to follow up their documents. Then also the platform enables the easy verification of these documents.
Yeah.
Someone can, as long as someone has a link to the document or even has the physical document, they can be able to verify it in seconds. So what was, I could say, 240 hours minimum yearly has been cut down to 3 seconds.
Wow.
Yes.
I can see the reason why they have to hire you.
And we have a vision. At Diwala, we have a big vision.
Yes.
We want to enable the issuance and verification of any important document you can think of. Any important, you know, your ID, your license, your proof of work, you know, service. Today I can say I worked for Diwala and maybe my CEO is my friend and she can write me a reference letter and it may not be true. How do we also curb that? Because a lot of people will have quote-unquote fake CVs. You know, how do we also curb that? So that's what we do at Diwala. And as leaders, authenticity is very important.
Wow. You want to go, people who are doing it, people who have done it, or people who are already on the top coming down, and they have got a certain amount of experience that they can share with us to go forward. And you are definitely with Irene Mutuzo, Irene Esther Mutuzo. I just like to put your name together so that it can make sense. Irene, our time is fast spent, but I want to go straight to my next question, this last 5 questions we have for you. Your work for the company is that, you know, one, the company is pioneering this for the first time. We've not had this in Africa before. But two, using the use of blockchain technology in this era of pandemic, COVID-19 situation, where no longer human-to-human, you know, meeting is being discouraged. We are not being able to, you know, have hugs like we used to do things the way we used to do, which means even if I want to go, I don't know. But also, there's a challenge that a lot of people don't understand what you're calling blockchain technology, because the language could be different. We need you to explain what is blockchain technology to a common person. If I am a border graduate from Makerere University or from University of Dar es Salaam, but life knocked me so much and I became an entrepreneur and now I ride a motorcycle or whatever city that I am, or I'm doing Okada in Nigeria, you know, what is blockchain technology and how can I, you know, verify this document? Like you've said, first explain what is blockchain technology. I know you've talked about already the other part. Okay. Yeah.
So blockchain technology was an aspect that was actually discovered in 1991 by a group of researchers. But it was until 2009 that it was applied, and specifically it was applied to cryptocurrency, specifically Bitcoin. That's why when, you know, people talk about blockchain technology, the first thing people think about is Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, but it can be used for more than that, as I'll be explaining. So I can use 3 words to explain blockchain technology. An immutable distributed ledger. And I'm going to break all these 3 down.
An immutable distributed ledger.
So immutable basically means that information cannot be changed. And in this case, the information that is transacted, if it's say money or documents that are stored on the blockchain, they can't be changed. It's almost impossible to change them. That's why you'll hear things like blockchain technology is very secure, because it's difficult to change, it's difficult to tamper with information that is stored.
I can't go there and remove and replace.
Even if you, so the way it works, and I'm going to now explain it in the distributed, the word distributed. So usually for many organizations and for many of us, the way we understand where, say, data is kept or information is kept, it's usually kept in one place, which could be, you know, a server. In some places, it's a laptop, which is working as you could say, a minimal server or a desktop. So it's kept in one place. But the disadvantage of information being kept in only one place is that someone can easily get into it. Someone can easily hack it. That information can easily get lost, you know. So it's in terms of security, it's not really secure. But the way information is stored on the blockchain is that it is stored in a decentralized manner across a large network of computers. So it sort of creates like a web. And, you know, it's very difficult to get into a web and try and change something. And say if we're working on a document, you and I, and maybe the cameraman, or we are having transactions as three friends, you know, money transactions. Now, all of us will have access to what is happening in a document. All of us will have access to what is happening on the transactions. So if, as Irene, I try to make a change in the document, the only way that change can, you know, be approved is if everyone says, yes, we know about it and it is what it is. If, you know, I try to change something and everyone flags it no, then that thing won't be changed.
Wow.
So that's the way it sort of works. So everyone knows what is happening. So even for you and I, if someone makes a change and it is approved, it will be clearly seen that this person was the one who made that change at this particular time. And that's where also the ledger, I could say, aspect of blockchain comes in. And you can think of a ledger as your day-to-day records, whereby if it's money, you know when someone paid that money, at what time it was paid, and to whom. And that's also the premise of blockchain, to be able to track information in real time, to be able to track changes in real time. So it's very difficult to say that you did something and you did not something. And you know, blockchain can be used for so many things. A lot of people, refer it to cryptocurrency and Bitcoin, but it can be used in our day-to-day lives. We have heard of cases in the health sector where we have received fake medicine.
Of course.
However, if we're using...
we just received injections of COVID-19 water injections to about 800 and plus, as they said.
Sadly. But if, you know, there was that blockchain aspect to it, we would be able to verify the validity of those drugs sent to us, whether they have come straight from the manufacturer, when they have been manufactured, you know, and if it's a batch, is it our batch kind of thing. Blockchain can also be used in the supply chain sector. It can be used in agriculture, whereby as a farmer you can be able to track your produce right from the farm to when it gets to the customer or client. So if there's something wrong with produce or a product and you need to recall a product, it's very easy for you to track where that product went so that you can be able to recall it. Then recently I came across an interesting use case of blockchain, and this company is actually piloting it with a fleet of 100 cars, whereby you can be able to track mileage. So if you have bought a car before, or you have gone to the bond, you have heard that, the mileage is tampered with, and there's usually that yellow paper. But that yellow paper can be forged. And very rarely do you also go into those documents, the export documents and all those things. But, you know, and someone will tamper with the mileage and sell to you the car quite expensively. But with blockchain, people will be able to track that. So someone won't be told you that, you know, the mileage is 4,000 kilometers when it's not. So it's interesting, and it can be used for so many things, even in governance. You talked about voting. You know, if voting was based on blockchain, it would be difficult to tamper with votes, or to, you know, things like, this vote was tampered with, this vote is not for this person, this is a ghost vote. You will arrest very many people in Uganda. I won't say Uganda, I'm not political. I'm not very political, but I believe it can change so many aspects of our lives.
Wow. Irene, being the very first person in Uganda, earlier on when we were talking to you, you became the first employee of Diwala in Uganda. I mean, what does that make you feel like, being the first leader of a new innovation happening in Uganda? What experience has it given you so far?
It's a very humbling experience. And I always thank the team at Diwala for giving me the opportunity, because I can tell you when they met me, it was about 3 years ago, but you know, just chat chatting about, you know, what technology is in Uganda, how it can be applied to the education sector. It wasn't really, I could say, an interview. It was more me trying to give people some data and some information. And my CEO tells me that from that point, she felt like, you know, I could be part of that team. And I can tell you, I had zero knowledge about what blockchain technology is.
And yet here you are now talking
zero technology. And you know, now getting into Diwala and understanding what they do and understanding why they do it, which is very important. You know, it is important to know the reason behind your why. Like, why are you doing something? And, you know, understanding it and understanding its impact and understanding what blockchain technology can do, how it can improve our lives. It's really been a great journey learning from them. It's, first of all, a humbling experience that I'm part of that team. It's a humbling experience that I'm given the opportunity to learn. Very rarely do people take a chance on you. And yes, I have skills, but I believe I'm continuously growing. I am still being beaten here and there. And it's humbling, and I'm excited to be part of that team. I'm excited to introduce the technology to all the people I know, my networks. And all I can say is that a lot is coming.
And Irene, what tips would you share with leaders who are pioneering innovations in this field, or in Uganda or in Africa, or even a young person anywhere in the world who is pioneering, you know, this kind of innovation, given your experience now as being given the first time to be employed by a new technology, you know, stuff coming up?
What I would advise people is listen. It goes back again to listening. Listening and understanding your market. Sometimes we build products and we spend so much time on them without really researching and trying to find out what are the needs. And, you know, challenges could be generic, but the way everyone understands challenges, the way these challenges relate to each person is totally different. And if you do not know that, or you do not understand that, trust me, you are going to really struggle to get your innovation and product out there. Because you are building it from your perspective. And even for Diwala, before, you know, way before the team started building, there was so much time spent on research to ensure that the product meets the needs of the people it's meant to serve, to ensure the product meets the challenges. And even today now we have a product that is being used by over 32 institutions. In Uganda, it's being used by the Stanbic Business Incubator, the NSSF High Innovator, Girls for Girls, Refactory, Net Labs, and so many other institutions. It's out there, it is released, but we continuously still get feedback. And we work on that feedback. And there's a reason why your smartphone every other day will tell you, please update, because they're trying to meet your needs. You know, and that's the beauty about technology. You begin here and, you know, you keep going.
Wow. Irene, we're basically in the evening of our interview today. It's been a nice conversation, a fantastic conversation. I've got a lot of comments coming here. I've been trying to pick a few of them. Just want to dive to one that came from you know, a gentleman all the way in Belgium, and he says that can you please ask the young lady, you know, how is our tech industry in Uganda? Have we moved with the internet being off in Uganda, with so many things not being in place? How are we dealing with the challenges that new innovation faced in Africa, particularly in Uganda?
I first of all must commend the great work that the government is doing, and a lot of even actors in the private space. Do we have room for improvement? Yes, we do. That is the reality. But where we are now is not where we were before. And even particularly in Uganda, Uganda has been gazetted as a safe place for companies like us in the blockchain world to do research, to pilot products, to implement products in Uganda. So that's also a big plus. By the time Uganda has opened that space for us, it is a big plus. And it shows that we are growing and continuously improving. And even when you see, government entities, both parastatals and fully government institutions, my oh my, we have moved leaps and beyond. There'll be conferences that are happening virtually, which never used to happen. I can tell you almost every government entity today, and even, the president himself and the MPs have social media channels. Who knew that would happen?
Yes.
Who knew that would happen?
Occasionally they block the internet and forgot that they need to use it afterward.
Well, I won't comment on that, but, the fact that, they understand that it is important to have a digital presence, an online presence. And even parastatals like Anita, they're doing a great work as far as building policies and regulating the way data is used, the way companies like us work here. That is a big, big step. So for the gentleman in Belgium, yes, there is a lot of room for improvement, but we are moving. We are moving. And for us as Diwala, that's the reason why we are here in Uganda, because we know that there are big things happening in Uganda.
Well, you have been hearing, a lot of stuff, good stuff coming from Irene, Mutuzo, or you can call her Mutuzo, Irene, Esther. Very interesting names and order of the names right there. Irene, we have literally come to the end of this show, but I want to ask you one final parting question. In fact, the second last. What have been your success and challenges so far in providing this service, strategic leadership to Diwala, particularly in Uganda, given the fact that it is not a company that originated from Uganda, but originates all the way in Norway? What sort of success or challenges or strategic, directions have you given to them that when they look back many years from now, they will say it was good hiring that lady. When they look back, they'll say it's good, the board can make a decision to say you will become the next CEO because of this.
Like I said, I'm still learning. I don't think I'm ready to be a CEO yet. Well, so for me, I could say bring the perspective of someone who has gone through the challenges. And like I said, I've been on the side of someone that needs to get their documents. And I've also been on the verification end. So I really understand the pain points from a personal perspective. And I think for me, that's what drives me. Because I know that challenge. I've been there. And that basically drives me to push. Drives me to better explain, what the product does. Because sometimes, even when you get into spaces, people just think, oh, you have just got this product, you don't understand what it does, you don't really understand the challenges. But as someone who understands the challenges, I'm able to better explain what the product brings on the table from a personal perspective. So I think that's been a success. And the fact that we have managed to get partners here is a huge, huge success. It's a huge success. When something is new, it's very difficult for people to hop onto it. And if people get onto it, sometimes it's usually for the wrong reasons. But when you actually find people that that believe in it, that want to work with you to keep improving it, that want to work with you to keep having that feedback to improve the product, it is a big, big plus. It's a big, big plus because you could build a product, put so much time and money into it, and it's not used by anyone.
Wow. Which we have seen before.
It's a reality. But the fact that, our product is out there and it is changing lives, because for us, that's the end goal. Yes, money is important in business, but we also want to change lives. We also want to meet challenges, and that is also our end goal. And seeing our product out there and doing what it's supposed to do is my oh my.
Wow.
It's a success.
Wow.
The challenges, of course, and I'll speak from the digital transformation point, is there's a big challenge in digital literacy.
Yeah.
And us as Diwala, we are also big on digital literacy. We want to empower people to understand, you know, a lot of people think that their smartphones are only for WhatsApp.
Yes.
and yet your smartphone can do so much.
Yes.
You can work on your smartphone.
Yeah.
You can run a business on your smartphone. And until people understand, you know, what more, for example, a smartphone can do for you, what more the internet can do for you, why it's important to have these digital tools and how they can be able to help, then adaptation to digital tools becomes hard. But when people understand, you know, why they're there, when people understand that, you know, sometimes people are scared of the unknown, like I say, you know. You'll find that people are scared of, or if we're going to move to digital, our data is going to be out there. Probably if someone wants to track us, our information is going to be out there. But it's not always the case. Digital has its strengths. Yes, it also has its challenges that we need to, you know, we need to be aware of. So like anything, everything has a good thing and a bad thing. So it's important to understand both sides, and usually, at least in all these digital tools we see, there's a big good side. So how do we get the good side going and handle the challenges that come with it? So I think for us, it's trying to push the digital literacy out there, because we also don't believe in this product being for only a few people. And that's also some of the challenges we face, and many of us in the digital world face. You know, you're in your cocoon, all your friends are on Twitter, or they know how to use Facebook, or maybe, you know, all your friends understand blockchain, so you think everyone else is there. Yet there's a big percentage that is not there. And if we want to move together as a population, as a community, it is very important for us to move as one. That's why, for me, I believe in ensuring that even my jaja in the village understands a bit of technology, so that if a tool is out there for them, they can be able to use it. It's not for only us young people, it's for everyone.
Well, you've been hearing Irene Esther Mutuzo right there. She's the business development head and the PR at Diwala, a new blockchain technology helping us verify our documents, academic, credentials, or our driving permits, or your national ID. You might have one and it's not yours, and we don't know whether it is yours or for your nephew or your cousin. So that's what they're doing in a nutshell. But Irene, thank you very much for coming to the program today, and thank you very much for one wonderful and fantastic discussion we've had this morning, or this afternoon, or this evening, depending on where they are watching the program from. Now, as you go, assuming you were elected the Member of Parliament for Kisoro today, and you are now also voted as the Speaker of Parliament of the Republic of Uganda, what would be the first, state of address of the new Speaker of Parliament from Kisoro, the woman Member of Parliament for Kisoro?
I'm humbled, but like I say, sometimes God has jokes, so we could be laughing about it. Well, for me, it would be encouraging leaders to serve. And that's the challenge I've seen. And even, naturally, you unconsciously, you actually end up going that route if you're not careful. That at the end of the day, when people, as a speaker, you're speaking to so many MPs and ministers, at the end of the day, people have put you there to serve. Because they believe you have something to add. They believe you can bring change. They believe you can make an impact. So you have 3 to 5 years to do that. If you have 5 years as a leader and you haven't made any change in the place that you have been put to lead, then you haven't led. If you are a leader and you haven't served your people, you haven't led. If you are a leader and you haven't listened to your people, you haven't led. Wow.
Irene, thank you very much for coming to the program. From us here, we want to say thank you to Irene Mutuzo for coming to the program, and thank you to Diwala. The journey is, of course, brighter. We're seeing you becoming the next CEO in the next couple of years, and we want to wish you well. And until then, we're tossing out and we're saying goodbye, Africa, goodbye, the wide world. The CEO bench has come to an end. Signing out.
Thank you.
Yes.